this is the one that we're beginning fundraising for, because while we have the support of the mayor and city council to do these stone entrances, sandstone, like the original sandstone entrances, we're not saying, hey, here's the idea, now pay for it. We're fundraising for it. And I think this is a great opportunity to get the community together to invest in our community. So our goal right now is $50,000. The project altogether might cost upwards of $100,000. It's easy to miss this wall when you're driving through that entrance because the gazebo is what really stands out to you and the historic marker. But that wall, we've taken measurements, we've taken design elements from that wall and proposed, this is one, proposed for the location of Chalkville at the intersection of Rock Ridge and Poplar Street. That's a lot of traffic coming down that hill. And imagine seeing the signage. See the example of that's an original feature there on the left. That's the idea of what would flank the signage on either side. This is for the proposed location, and this is the smallest one of the three because we're talking about the smallest lot that, again, we've got the original entrance at Parkway and Highway 11. We have the entrance from Rock Ridge coming down the hill into the community along Chalkville and Rock Ridge. Then you have Poplar and Parkway. There's a lot of traffic going along Poplar Street, right? That triangle, that's a city-owned triangle with crepe myrtles right now behind it. And then there's the one at the, technically you enter the Cahaba project and there's no question about when you enter it. We have the survey, we have the map, it's all there, it's all laid out, right? That's the district boundary. At that mini, I'm gonna call it the mini mall. If you have a better name for it or a historic name, please tell me.
By the First Baptist Church.
Right, the one after the church at Magnolia Court.
It's Magnolia Mall.
There you go, okay. Magnolia Mall. Did you just make that up?
No.
That makes perfect sense. Magnolia Mall. That's when you enter the district from Cahaba. So you've got a nice stretch of land right there where you could do something real pretty. Okay, so this one, do you see the signage? I know it's hard to read there. U.S. Resettlement Administration, Cahaba Homestead Village. That is how we're listed on the National Register. And then established 1936 to 1938. You don't know that if you don't live here. Even if you live here, some people don't know that because unless you're getting out of your car or you're walking to stop to read the historic marker, it's not that visible. Most folks are just driving down the road and this would make you not miss it. So oh, this was built in the 30s. Oh, U.S. Resettlement Administration, what's that? Look it up. All right, so here's that first location. Here's an aerial view of North Chalkville and Rock Ridge. And this is a ground view. If you are driving up Rock Ridge, exiting the project, and you just come to Chalkville, it's hard to see, but there's this red line noting where that signage would be. This is the second design that's a little larger because the proposed location is a little larger. And this is not an either or, this is an all three entrance to the district with similar features like a flag, like an American flag in the center, a spotlight on the flag, a place to put wreaths at Christmas time, a place to put banners for City Fest and things like that. Make it functional, not just attractive. So this design also borrows from this. Again, if you don't stop there or you're walking there, you might not have noticed this feature, that sort of half circle, that moon shape, dip in the wall. It's really attractive. All right, so here's an aerial view of the triangle. Now orient yourself. You're on Parkway and the school's down here and you're driving down and you're gonna continue over to, Happy Hollow, or left to Poplar Street. So that is city-owned property, and if you can look carefully, there's a red line. Maybe that's too far forward, but that's the idea, having that signage there, that pretty major intersection, to see the boundary of what you enter when you enter our community. Here's another feature of the original wall, and we've proposed this design with it flanking. Now those are actually benches, flanking the signage. The center is the same in all of the designs. But this is one where you might have three flags, and this is that Magnolia Mall space. Okay, so as you drive through, you would see it on that side. And a great place for photo ops, a great place to stop and rest, a great place, again, it's functional. Sit down for a while, not just read it as you're driving by. Display the American flag, display the Alabama flag, display another local a flag with significant meaning. Maybe there would do. I think I know some artists that could work on that. And we are at $3,600 in fundraising. We will be approaching corporate sponsors for sure, but we're also just asking families and individuals, put in any amount that you want to contribute to it. When these come up, these sandstone entrances designed after the original one, you've got that investment in it and in your community. And hopefully this is something that, I didn't grow up in this neighborhood, but my husband did, and we're raising the third generation here, and I want my kids to come back through this neighborhood and see that and know what part their generation added to contribute to this historic community. But come back and see some of those things that never changed.
Anybody with the foundation that's here tonight that wants to come up, we have a check to present. I want to congratulate the Heritage Foundation for the efforts that they put in to raise the money for the new monument walls and signs that you see going up. When Amy came to the council some time ago, their goal was to raise $50,000. They had a cost estimated of around $86,000 if I remember. Well, they exceeded that, and the council had agreed to pick up the difference after their efforts once they hit the $50,000. And so tonight we're going to present a check to them for the difference, and really thank you for the effort, all of you that worked hard on that. So if you want to come up, I'll be glad to talk to you, Amy, or whoever else wants to come up with you.
Amy and I collaborated on her art renderings of what it should look like, and then we went back to the old gazebo project, and then we took measurements and we kind of made a few modifications to her design to make it look more balanced, and that's how we kind of came up with the project. So
Have you driven past anywhere on Chalkville or over here and seen construction on the corners? Y'all know what that's about? So that's the Stone Gateway project. Y'all know the gazebo entrance. I think everyone knows that one. So what we've done, but if you drive through that one and you don't get out of your car and read the historic marker, you're not going to know that this was built during 1936 to 1938. You're not going to know that it was built during the Great Depression to relieve people to bring the nation out of recovery from the Great Depression, right? How many of you get out and stop and read it? It's not convenient. What we're doing at these sort of boundaries or entrances to the historic area is we're calling them gateways. Trustful's a gateway to happy living, right? These gateways are kind of identifying the entrances to the historic area. They're designed after the original, the sandstone original gazebo and wall that was built in 1936. So we very carefully taken design elements from that to build these. And on the signs, now it will be nice and clear when you're driving by, you will see Cahaba Homestead Village. We can still refer to it as the Cahaba Project. I don't want people to get up in arms about that. Above that, it'll say National Register of Historic Places. So people know that we are listed, that is that significant. And then established 1936 to 1938. So we have those years to assign to it. There will also be a bronze plaque at the gateway at this corner location of Parkway and Poplar that probably receives the most walking traffic. And the signs, the gateways are dedicated to the Americans who built these homes, the village, the entire historic built environment during the Great Depression, and honoring their legacy of labor and service. They're going up quick. As a nonprofit, we faced a major fundraising feat to reach almost $100,000 for the gateways. We reached out to all local companies and sources because we wanted to keep the bacon here, you know, and keep it community-based. And I'm pleased to say that everything that's going into it has been local as possible. Fundraising as a nonprofit. Any of you here with nonprofits? So we thought we would mostly get there through the brick donations, right? Everyone paying or different people choosing $100 per brick donation, and then some businesses or families donating at a higher price point as the cornerstone contributors. What really got us over the mark, though, were some Jefferson County grants. You gotta have a grant writer, or you gotta know what you're doing and know someone who does. I'm so thrilled to say this, we had support for these gateways that are identifying this historic district from state, county, city level, and from individuals, families, and businesses. So at every level we had support for these. And most of the fundraising was done just in the last 5 months. Sometimes it takes time to get that, to build that momentum and grow that awareness. How many places can you say have that history? It's still kind of a living history because we're approaching 100 years. We're not that old to have forgotten that history, but all it takes is one generation to kind of forget it, not pass it on. And these gateways are a tangible way to keep that that history and our legacy going. So.
We'll fill the hose. Good idea. Good idea, John. I like it just when it's sliced off. I like the inset. I think it looks better too. Yeah. Not too much.
Ahí está la maderita, bebé, esa. Unos saquitos así, unos saquitos. Grave. Unos platos.
Today is an exciting day. It's a day that recognizes our past and our present in a very visible and tangible way. The name and dates of our historic village, the people honored here by these bricks, and the bronze dedication plaque all tell Trussville's story. By design, the gateways are a beautiful way to welcome people to Trussville's historic district for generations to come. The Cahaba Project is the birthplace of modern-day Trussville. In 1936, this area where we're standing was little more than an idyllic setting along the Cahaba River with an inoperative furnace and heaps of slag and wooden shacks of unemployed furnace workers. Within only 2 years, it had transformed into a modern-day suburban village with streets, cottages, plumbing, parks, and public buildings, street lamps, school children running around, and families renting their homes and farming their lots. This community has seen times of Great Depression and great cooperation, times of war and peace. This community knows the name of the first baby born here in 1938, who's present today. Collectively, this community has mourned the loss of its daughters and its sons. Collectively, it has prayed and persevered. These homes and this neighborhood have been the backdrop and the heart of nearly 100 years of families living out Alabama history and our nation's history day by day. And that continues today. A thriving historic district like ours is a sign of a city who honors its past as it sees to its future. A historic district is a place where character and tradition play a larger role. And as we gather today to honor the members of our community and dedicate these gateways to those Americans before us who built the Cahaba Project, we want to thank those who have made this possible. First and foremost, I thank my fellow board members of the Cahaba Homestead Heritage Foundation, our secretary, Kathy Freeman, treasurer, Meg Ward, and webmaster, historian, / the jobs could go on, Gary Lloyd, and board member at large, James Patterson. Equally important are you neighbors and volunteers who have made our mission possible the last 3 years in small and big ways. My fingers are cold. We thank each and everyone who purchased the nearly 200 bricks in our first round of fundraising and the 36 and counting that have come since November. Those will be installed by May. We thank our corporate brick sponsors, some of who are represented here today, AmFirst Bank and Amorex Corporation. We want to thank Hero Donuts and Rodney Scott Barbecue for partnering with us today and several previous events. Always a professional and delicious experience. Their partnership really has been instrumental in making strides toward the realization of this goal, so thank you. We want to thank Mayor Choate, City Council members in alphabetical order, Jamie Anderson, Lisa Bright, Perry Cook, Ben Short, and Alan Taylor for their support of this project and the decision to invest in the city's historic district in this important way. We want to thank Tommy Trim and his staff at Trim Design Landscaping for taking on this project. As a member of the community for many years, it was meaningful to Tommy to be a part of this, and I enjoyed working with you and your crew with attention to every detail along the way. We want to thank Senator Shay Shelnut for his support via a grant from the Alabama Department of Tourism for our inaugural Heritage Days, which served as a fundraiser for the Gateways project. We also thank the Trussville Area Chamber of Commerce and Trussville Public Library for partnering with us for Heritage Days as well. We thank the Bell family for donating the bronze plaque that is being unveiled today. The Bell Company got its start in 1946 when Mr. Bell came home from the Navy, and the business moved to Trussville in 1964. Chris Bell, his grandson, could not be here today, but he says, Trussville was a great place to grow up, and I feel blessed to have lived here most of my life. Being a part of this project honors my family's memories. I'm excited to see how Trussville has grown and is a place that many more families can call home. We thank the Reich family for their support of this project. This historic neighborhood is near and dear to generations of the Reich family. For the generous grants that made the Stone Gateways possible, we have the following to thank: Zeke Smith and the Alabama Power Company, Commissioner Joe Knight and the Jefferson County Commission, Representative Danny Garrett and the Jefferson County Community Service Fund. We thank Congressman Gary Palmer for his support of the project and his office, through which we obtained American flags for the gateways. These flags have flown over our nation's capital. We officially dedicate the Stone Gateways to the Americans who built the Cahaba Project during the Great Depression, honoring the legacy of their labor and service.
It's a pleasure for me to be a part of this celebration. I think Trussville is the best place in the world to be raised, and I had all 85 years of it here in Trussville. So I've enjoyed being here, and it's been a real asset to me and my family. I've raised 2 daughters, got 2 grandkids, and they were all born here in Trussville. So it's been a great thing for my life to be part of Trussville.
It's wonderful. It's such a tribute to the neighborhood, to the city leaders, and to the Cahaba Foundation that put it all together. It's just amazing. It will be here for at least 100 years, I imagine, if not longer.
I live in the neighborhood, so it was like important to me to be able to do the project, because I thought, well, my granddaughter can see these signs and she can say, hey, my grandfather, put these signs up. Because so much of our work, we never see it again. We do a project for somebody and we put a lot of work into it, and it's kind of bittersweet because when you get finished, you never see it again. But I live 2 blocks down the street, and I'm gonna see these things every single day of my life.